What's up, my demons? Welcome back to the Anime Squad podcast, episode 95. I'm your friendly neighborhood demi fiend, Robbie,
and I'm your Messiah, Omar.
And this is your Samurai, David.
And I'm Summoner Josh.
And welcome back to this week's episode. Before we begin, of course, be sure to Agidine that like button.
Agidine.
Zeodine that comment button, comment section. Boofudine that share button. And be sure to luster candy the absolute heck out of the subscribe button. And of course, don't forget that notification bell as well. As always, of course, we also have timestamps, all that doodly dads that you want to do in case you want to just skip to whatever show you want. And of course, don't forget to follow our socials. All this here and MySpace. We don't have it over here, but we ran out of space. But it doesn't matter. It's what matters. It's what matters.
Heck yeah. Talking with you guys.
Talking with you guys, our demons. We gotta summon you. But yeah, let's get right to it. To our list of anime. First off, that we're gonna be talking about is actually an interesting one. It's a new one that me and David actually saw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
It was a one-off episode.
It's a one-off episode that we wanted to just check out. It came out recently, and yeah, let's get right to it. We're gonna be starting off with Tales of Luminaria, the Fateful Crossroad, episode 1.
It's done by the
JoJo people,
JoJo
the guys that not David Production, but they're the guys that did the opening
for the CG,
the CG openings. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and yeah, David, what'd you think overall, like in terms of like, general episode feel, episode vibe? What'd you think?
So the show itself was at times like weird because the CGI was fine. I like the CGI.
Yes,
the CGI was incredible. But when it came to the 2D,
okay, we gotta address the elephant in the room. What was one of the factors that made a show like X-Arms super uncanny to look at? It was the fact that you have a CG character mixed in with a 2D character, and yeah, you can argue like, oh, the CG's really bad, or all the 2D's really bad. This one has an issue where the CG looks pretty solid, like, of course, because it's done by the JoJo guys. It looks great. But it doesn't matter like what you do, man. Like, you mix in CG with a 2D, like, especially with characters and stuff, like they're interacting with each other, it's gonna look really weird. It's gonna look really off.
Oh,
and
so it's not
just looks bad.
Because they also did one episode for Star Wars Vision.
Yes.
And
that one was really solid, yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's nothing like that.
No, well, it is, but it isn't at the same time. Because you got to remember that this is a full half-hour thing. It's a full half-hour episode that me and David saw. So you're not going to have action constantly going back and forth. The action part of this episode was actually pretty solid.
Okay.
But, when these characters, these background characters that aren't super important enough to get these super high-quality models, interact with our characters, it looks really weird.
Damn, I kind of want to watch this now.
Yeah,
it's funny too because they even had to divide the knights and the archers. Like the archers are 2D, while
so it's really weird. Yeah, like David said, the knights and archers are different because the knights, because of how low detailed they are, they actually could have models. They have models. They're completely CG.
Okay.
But the archers, for some reason, they're 2D.
Okay.
So when you have so basically the scenario is that you have a castle town or whatever, castle city, and it's all surrounded by a big bubble shield. And you have guards that are just kind of like lined up because the scenario is that like, you have monsters coming in, they're trying to attack and invade the town.
Okay.
But these guys are there to protect them. But it's really weird looking because the knights are in CG and then the archers are in 2D. So that's like one major example where that happens. And it happens all throughout the episode. It's really weird. We had to address this because it's just really weird to look at.
But like, what is this episode about?
Yeah, another problem with this show in general was I guess this was meant for the people that
Yes.
played the app game itself.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's a very distinct reason as to why we're not going into the episode plot yet, is because I've never played that, because this is based off an app game, and neither me nor David have played the app game, so we're lost.
Yeah, like wasn't this kind of like enticing you to go play the app game, if anything?
I guess that's the point, and to some extent it kind of did, because the from what we gathered, the main plot is that these two characters named Leo and Celia are on a mission with their instructor. I don't remember her name. I guess I'll put it on screen. And they're on their way to a castle city to protect it, and to retrieve information, yada yada, all that good stuff.
Okay.
But towards the end, they run into, I guess, a former, like, Leo's and Celia's childhood friend, Hugo. He shows up, and I guess he was with the bad guys, with the Empire or whatever.
Well, that's what he thought. I guess.
Yeah.
He thought he was a good guy, but
yeah, and Hugo, I guess, like, is not the sharpest tool in the shed, so he decided, all right, I'm doing this for the Empire. Hail the Empire. Augustine or whatever his name. But unfortunately, they fumbled up. He fumbled up. He took whatever extract was in there, did the thing, and he thought he was saving the world. But turns out he single-handedly destroyed the Castle City's barriers, the Castle City shield, and he's like, "What have I done?"
Oh no, Nani?
yeah, that scene from Peach Boy Riverside when that monster destroyed the whole.
Oh, that's what
side.
happened.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't eradicate the whole city or whatever. But no, it was
that corner.
That little corner is just like completely gone and like engulfed in fire.
Nice.
That's why Hugo was depressed.
Damn.
So yeah, off to a great start. Our heroes immediately fail
Damn.
at the end of this episode.
Damn.
So
Tragic.
yeah. So there's only 2 episodes out for this one. Would you, David? Would you be down to cover this for a second week, or?
Yeah, we'll probably finish it off.
We'll finish it off by next week. So I guess we'll talk about it, give our ratings. I guess this is literally only a 2-episode thing, but for whatever reason we decided to only cover the first episode to kind of like check out to see what this is. So yeah.
Let us know what you guys think of it, if you guys saw it or not.
Yeah, if you guys liked it, if you guys enjoyed it, if you guys play the app game, let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear it.
If anything, based by the app game.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot of Fire Emblem vibes.
Yeah,
art style.
Mostly with the art style and the fact of like the two, how the fantasy elements kind of work with the CG and all that. So
Okay.
yeah. All right, and moving on, we're gonna be talking about next anime we're gonna be talking about is Legend of Vox Machina, episode 1, the D&D animated series on Amazon.
Yes, which we have covered in the news before.
Yes.
So if it's finally out, first episode, right?
Yep, first episode. Well, actually, first 3 episodes, but we're gonna be doing the thing that we've always done with these kind of releases, is that we'll be talking about them week by week. But yeah, that first episode though, what'd you guys think?
What do you think, Josh? Since you didn't watch it,
when I was watching, I was like, first when I looked at it, I was like, dude, this is gonna be like, it's either gonna be like really kid stuff, like really kiddy.
Yeah.
But then I saw it and I'm like, oh, they're pulling an Invincible on us. When I just the dude chops off this guy's arm in the bar fight. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and dropping F-bombs left and right. Yeah. I mean,
or even at the very beginning when they're all saying they're like, we're gonna save the world, and the rock gets dropped on him, he gets blown up and shredded. And it's like, whoa.
At least the reveal happens really, really quick, unlike Invincible with how that one led up to. So this one was just right off the bat.
Though. Like it worked really well for Invincible because you thought it was gonna be like this standard superhero story, and then Army Man just decimates his whole team. And it's like, this is not gonna be a normal superhero story. I kind of like that. This one is just like, this is exactly what it is. We're gonna say the F word. We're gonna F-bomb every 2 sentences. We're gonna have sex and all. Like it's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
That gnome guy was awesome. The singer.
Yeah, the bard.
The bard, yeah.
I didn't know that there were gnomes at first. Couldn't tell, so I just saw these really short people. I'm like,
they were hobbits.
Hobbits.
The little hobbits, little dwarves.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, like, again, this is based off of the Dungeons and Dragons IP. I feel like some of us have varying degrees of like exposure to like regarding the franchise.
I played Dungeons and Dragons once with my friends, and I had a good time, but we just never got back together to play again. But it was fun when I did know
play. My only exposure to Dungeons and Dragons was the old school Capcom beat 'em up, which was I believe is called Shadows of Mystara, and then the other one was the 1980s cartoon, the Isekai one.
I only know it by Stranger Things.
I don't know it at all.
Bruh.
I don't know nothing about this.
Well, as someone who actually played Dungeons and Dragons, it can be pretty fun because you get into character.
Yeah.
And you like really believe like you can have like a personality that goes along with your character. Like when I played, I was a monk, and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I just didn't say anything for 90% of the game. Like I just was mute, and all my like guild members or whatever were like looking at me to answer, and then I just stayed silent, and they were like, okay, that's a quality answer from and then they'd say my character name. So it got funny. So like when I played, I learned that you could just like kind of do whatever you want, and it's kind of you can even if it's not like an interesting idea, if you have a group of like personalities from your friends that come out, it will work. It'll be fun.
And I think that's the beauty of like stuff like this, is that like the whole terminology of role play came from like Dungeons and Dragons essentially, where it's like you could basically just role play wherever you want. And I feel like this show is no different. Like this show kind of carries that whole element of that really well, where like you have this band of mercenaries called Vox Machina, where they're just super colorful in like their personalities, but and like very varied. Oh yeah, I guess like
not really.
Morality speaking,
that's what they say.
Morality, they decimate in the bar fight.
Yeah, and like I felt like morality speaking, like wise, they're not the most like purest, like noblest, like heroes out there, but like they're pretty good at what they do, especially like they're able to hold their own on like Josh mentioned, like the bar fight. Like that was crazy.
All right,
I really enjoyed the dragon fight.
Oh yeah,
that sounds cool. But I got one thing to say. I know it's nothing about the show, but like there's a sketch in Key and Peele where like I think Pio is bringing his friend, and he's like a gangster, and he's like, we're going to the club.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry.
No.
I just remember that.
No, you're right though. I mean, it's basically what it is, because like they're, for the most part, like again, we've based off of like their personalities in this first episode that we've seen so far. They're very much monetary driven. Like the only reason why they're going to go take this guy down in the take this whatever they're going to be facing out. In general,
for the money, man.
It's for the money, It's for the cash, That's all it is. They're super straightforward about it. It's like, oh, it's not about honor. We just want the money.
They don't really care. They don't know what they're up against. No one knows what they're up against. But we do get some sus activity in the cathedral, where she senses the power of dragons.
Yeah,
with her like.
So that was a big info drop that Vex, one of the twins, has the ability to sense dragons. So
and then they have that out of all the cathedral members, the evil looking one.
Yes,
he looks evil.
And not to mention that when they eventually do find the dragon, at first they find huge giant dragon footprints, but then they slowly but surely they shrink down into regular people-sized footprints. So
and then they become dragon again, and he decimates the whole town and murders everyone. And a interesting moment I didn't like, but I appreciated was when they found the alive child, but they didn't save him. Like they couldn't save him, because usually they see like in even in anime and stuff like that, it's a trope where they find one person, they save them, right? But this one just squashed that. It's just like, everyone's dead. You failed. You sucked.
Yeah. You find that one kid that like you could have brought back, and it was of course it had to be the kid that Vax gave the coin to, and he didn't make it. So
tragedy. So what do you think?
I wonder if Vax took his coin back.
Probably did.
Might as well, right?
You don't need it no more.
The kid's not using it anymore.
Y'all dark. But for first episode, what you
just
think?
Like the episode?
First episode is really solid. I do want to mention, like Josh said, it doesn't have that that hook factor that Invincible had, where it's like, oh, grabs you out of surprise, like that show did.
I had fun.
But yeah, no, this show was fun. Yeah, I like the chemistry with all the characters.
I love the singing portion too.
Yeah,
when he was singing about the group.
Yeah, but like overall, like I feel like the chemistry of like the characters and stuff. They even though like they just basically just put you in there like all at once. You get a sense of like camaraderie between like all the characters and stuff. Like even though you got Grog that's like wants to kill everything, like he still shaves like everyone after like that whole dragon encounter and everything. So
I like how you, like Robbie said, you got to see everyone's personalities too. Like you got to see how they all work and how they function. So that I also liked how the plant girl, you got to see how scared she was compared to everyone else.
Yeah,
and it kind of showed that she, even though she probably has the most powerful magic attack.
Oh yeah.
That
like, I saw that thundercloud come in. I saw that thundercloud come in, and I'm like, damn, she could have done this earlier, but then she shoots like lightning, and I'm like, wait a minute, that dragon's element is lightning. That's not gonna work.
Damn.
But yeah, I enjoyed that aspect of it because I saw the difference between someone like Grog, who's like, even though he's like a big dumb oaf, he just thinks he can do it and he wants to do it and he's not afraid to get hurt. And then someone like her, where she's like terrified, doesn't even want to engage, she's like hiding.
When Grog's like, when he was like pressing up on his wound and like he lets go and all of a sudden like blood started gushing out, I'm like, oh god, how did you let that happen to you, man?
He's like, oh, is it that bad?
Am I gonna be okay? This is good, man. My man was about to bleed out if he didn't get healed.
Oh, and then of course our little healer, what's her name?
I don't remember all the names. I only remember like this Vex, Hilling, Grog, Perseus. Those are the only ones I remember off the top of my head.
Scanlan.
Yeah.
The little gnome. The little.
We have two. We have two. We have the monk, and then we also have like the priestess, I guess.
Yes, that she can't heal.
Yeah.
She's not good at it.
She's out of practice. She's out of practice. She's out of practice.
But it uses a lot of energy.
Yeah, she's out of practice. Basically like Queen Hilling from Ousama ranking, where she's where she can heal.
Kind of, yeah. I got that vibe too because Healing struggles with her healing ability. I'm glad that this is becoming a thing now, where because like you see animes, isekai animes, where they're just like, all of your wounds are healed. You broke all of your bones in your body. Oh, I'm just gonna give you a little tap. You're fine now. But I think closing that thing, it would be really hard to cast. It took a lot of energy.
And just closing that one open wound was like enough to just deplete all her mana. So that was crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's why they couldn't save the kid.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, that was like the reason why they couldn't save her. But yeah, overall it was a really fun time. Like honestly, I had a lot of fun with it so far. Like I'd be like, I'm super down to like continue watching this and all that stuff. So yeah.
All right,
cool. All right, moving on. We're gonna be talking about next time we're gonna be talking about is Tokyo 24th Ward, episode 4. What you guys think of that bait and switch, man?
Like, I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm viewing things that are happening on the screen. I'm like, what? What's the context? What's supposed to be happening? Now there's like this goofy like celestial being controlling everything.
Yeah.
What about Ostamine? Why do we care about this crummy little town? Why do we care about the graffiti on the wall? Man. Why do we care about anything that happens? Now his buddy's a terrorist. Why? What's going on here? Why is he evil? He was so nice to that girl. What is going on?
There's a lot of questions. A lot of just questions in general. Like we had a few answers out of them, but like they didn't really help much in the grand scheme of things.
Okay, I know that I'm bringing this out of context, but there's a part where like the guy is with the girl. And like she runs away, right? But we seen Shuda run like miles, like kilometers,
God.
like just to save one girl. But it's like, oh, I lost her.
My man was able to outrun a train, and you're telling me that he can't be able to catch like a high school girl?
Yeah.
Like, what?
And I hate how he gets so distracted too. The SARG members just kind of are like, hey, go after that guy, and he's like, okay.
What?
Okay.
Oh, my friend's here, by the way.
Drug dealer. Which, by the way, I want to say this. I legit thought when that drug dealer fell, hit the concrete face first, I thought he died.
Oh my gosh, Rabbi,
he was getting his
when
ass
I
beat.
saw that, I knew you were gonna comment on that because when I saw that, I thought this is something that Rabbi would die with laughter in because it was the weirdest animation ever. You just are sitting,
so
it's like a gag comedy thing. You're just sitting there and you're watching Shu and he's just sitting there and then the guy's like.
He just plopped, no reason at all, nothing to hint at something like that would happen. It just happens, and it's just
I literally
kind of sit on there.
And I was dying with laughter. It was just like the dumbest.
It was so
thing.
weird.
It was like in that one episode of what was it? Where you were laughing at the elephant falling off the thing. Jobless Reincarnation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where you laughed at that, and I'm like, this is a cow because it just.
Yeah, that cow. That cow that ran away. Oh my god, I was dying with that one too. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But this guy just he just comes. He doesn't even. They don't even pan to fall. Show him falling. He just appears in frame and plops. It's literally like a jackass.
For me,
skit.
I think my favorite scene was where he comes out of the window. Zip lining from the window and smashes into the guy. I was like, what?
Oh, Red? Yeah.
No, that shit was hilarious.
He's on a skateboard.
Yeah, he's on a skateboard.
No, that's right.
He comes into the window. And then he hits him in the face.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, ugh. And it's slow-mo, and I'm like,
hey, that's how you handle That's how you handle drug junkies, you know?
Totally. This
I'm viewing this and I'm like, what's the plot? What's going on?
And then after that, he says, "Oh, I need does the elevators work?" I was like, "Dude, you just came through the
you fly through the window. Why do you care?
Why do you care, man?"
Jesus, bro. And the whole, I guess, cliffhanger, right, was like, yo, kunai.
Yeah, kunai. Because it was so weird. It was like a bait and switch with kunai. Because at first you're thinking oh man, he's like a dark dude, you know?
He's the one selling drugs.
He's the one that's selling drugs, and he's probably Kozue's drug dealer. Yeah. Because for the longest time, they mentioned she's lost a lot of weight and she's going to Shantytown. Why would she do that? Yeah. So you think maybe to cope with the loss, she's maybe she's on drugs. But then no, later you find out she's actually really into Ran or Red's art, and kunai is just there.
That is tributing to her father.
Yeah, and the kunai's there because he's he's part of Red's gang, so it's kunai's actually pretty good. He's
a good dude.
But then of course the Asumi phone call happened, and then you find out that the terrorist behind a subsequent ship bombing incident is actually kunai. Yeah, it's actually him.
I thought of that too, David. It was like, oh, this is the Joker incident.
Yeah.
From
when they were
the Dark Knight.
Yeah, when they were showing off the billboards being taken over and all that. Yeah, it gave me huge Persona 5 whatever. I'm like, why? Why is this happening?
Yeah,
no, we were. As in the
Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Or the two ships.
That one.
But this time it's two scenarios, but it's still with the boat.
Yeah.
I'm just I don't care anymore.
No, the funny thing too is in the beginning of the episode, she's like, "Oh, I don't like you, Shu. You know."
Yeah.
You're a bad brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, "I'm not a kid anymore. I don't want your
cookies.
I don't want your cookies." Yeah, but then later on, as soon as she's like, "Hey,
give me those cookies.
Give me those cookies now, and I hope you can protect me later." And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
You're my superhero.
Yeah, it's weird because they didn't really have any meaningful interaction to warrant that. No. All that happened was that the audience, later finds out that she's not taking drugs, she's just taking pictures. But it's if that was the whole point, then why was she so aggressive?
Why couldn't she just say that, right?
Yeah, it was so weird.
There was just so many things in this episode that just
didn't make sense.
Why even show them capturing the junkie?
Yeah.
Why?
What would that lead to?
What purpose was that for? To introduce kunai?
I guess
how strong the drug
later on when he found her.
It's probably to introduce kunai. It's probably to introduce the whole concept of the drug trade in this, in Tokyo. I don't know.
How crazy.
But then they ignore it and they're like, oh, suddenly we have two random ships and kunai is the terrorist. What?
Yeah.
Why even talk about the drugs? If you're not even gonna have a plot surrounding it in the near future.
A lot of crazy weirdo random shenanigans happening and everything. But all in all, we have just one more episode left to cover this. Since we gave this an extension. So after next episode, then that's do or die, basically. Do we keep this or do we drop it?
It's gonna die. There's no way it's gonna redeem itself.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Give me one more chance, man. Give me one more chance.
One more chance, Tokyo 24 coup. One more. If you fail, I'm slicing your throat
with the knife. Yeah, but
we'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, moving on. Next anime we're gonna be talking about is Police in a Pod, episode 4. Yeah, this was stupid too.
No, this one, they went from like serious episodes, and then this one was not serious, and that's where it lost the.
It was trying to do comedy, but it's like the comedy's weird. It's like
no, comedy was not weird. The comedy did not land.
Yeah,
the comedy never landed in the show. Never. I don't think I've ever even cracked a smile at the show. The comedy consists of literally kawaii thinking something, being like, that guy is weird. Isn't that guy weird?
Yeah.
Is he weird?
No, I think
that's
what it is
comedy. Like, it's not funny.
What I think it is that, like, again, there is that you could argue that there's, like, that cultural difference or whatever, because it's like a Japanese police or whatever. But I feel like in basic comedy, you still need to have that hook that can grab whoever. It doesn't have to be like, just a language barrier or like, you as long as you're just throwing out jokes, then something's gonna land eventually. And this episode, for the most part, like, you don't have any of that serious topic stuff that you had, like, episodes prior, with death or women or spousal abuse or whatever. But yeah, it's like this one didn't have any of that, but yet, like, there was nothing that kind of like gave us anything in regards to like just comedy or whatever.
Yeah, like the whole dog joke.
Yeah, like dog sama.
The
like,
dog
what?
joke. I don't even. Understand.
I guess the point is that
that's not how police dogs operate. They're very well trained. Police dogs are ridiculously well trained. They do not just run off sprinting full speed ahead.
I don't think you chase them.
And I have to always think, like, these police officers are like inept. Like, I don't know what they're getting at with this story. Like, are they here to show the police officers?
No, and the funny thing is that
are they here to show them as bumbling buffoons?
No, and the funny thing is that the first part of this episode, the problem wasn't even solved by the police. It was solved by a fortune teller.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Like what? Like what? Like what's that? Is that the joke?
That's what I was thinking. I think
that funny?
I think that was it. It was like, police do this all the time where someone's missing, right? And it's a serious kind of situation.
Yeah.
But like, how it's solved is like, oh, he just happened to be over here this whole time. Like, what? We wasted our time.
I understand that, but it does not portray the police in a decent light. It makes them look like idiots when you see them running after a dog. And even in the last part too, when she's running after the criminal and she like hurts herself.
Yeah.
It just makes them look stupid.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of?
I think the show should have separated itself from seriousness to like more comedy.
The show
it's trying to do both.
Yeah, it's trying to do both, and it's not landing both good.
Yeah.
It's like it's trying to teach us about police, like what the police do, but it's with comedy. You should just make it serious if you're trying to educate. Young Japanese people.
Yeah, but at the same
and tried to make like people more interested in joining the police force, because that's clearly what it is, in my opinion.
At the same time, it's not it's not actually police things. I literally said right off the bat in the beginning.
Oh yeah, they have that little warning. It's like
work of fiction,
anything regarding like
organizations
or whatever.
I feel like
it's a work of fiction that we are watching. That is animated.
I feel like it's just it just shows Kawaii's life and like just like how mundane it kind of is, and it's like, this is what it really is to be a police officer, whatever.
I feel like we're still in the process of kind of like adjusting our viewpoints as to kind of like how to view this anime.
Yeah.
But I do agree that I feel like this is just kind of like showing us what Kawaii herself is going through and not really trying to teach us educationally why, like how.
Even though it does have those moments. Especially
it does
last
show,
week.
It does try to educate you on what the police do. When Kawaii asks about Fuji, about what they do, she like provides this long explanation. It's like, It's like, is this educational? Like,
but this
I don't know what this is, man. I don't know what I'm getting out of this.
This episode's not one of them.
No.
This episode's not educational.
It was very amiss, and
it could have been. They could have showed us actually what police dogs do, but instead they just made a meme about it.
Yeah.
Big joke.
Big joke.
The only thing I did like was like in the last part where like she's chasing the hoodlum, right? And like the guy's like, he's over there, go get him. And then she's like, no one asked you. What the hell?
That was so funny. Oh my gosh. That was right. I laughed at that. I actually laughed. That was the one thing that hit.
No, you know what was dumb?
One piece of comedy.
That guy we got mentioned in the beginning of the episode. Like apparently he was in the force for a while. Like if we were supposed to know, we just get a flashback.
Yeah.
And then his dream is to be in a race as one of the police. Like, dude,
that was so specific. I was like, what?
Very specific. And they're like, and they were treating this guy as if we'd known him like the whole like run of the show, like all like 100 episodes.
Yeah.
And, like,
I thought it was kind of cute, but it was also like, this is really stupid. Like,
it's also really weird.
It was cute and like
You know what's also really weird is the fact that the guy had like a full shaven face except for like his mustache area, because that area is like rugged. I'm like, why? Is he trying to grow it out, or?
Hey man, maybe.
He's trying to have that trademark police mustache, dude.
Oh, but that's an India thing though.
Yeah, this episode was bad.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Maybe he watched Singham.
Maybe, yeah. Singham is based off a true story, totally.
Definitely. It's about as realistic as this anime.
Yeah. So take that information as you will. But yeah, so there's one more episode left for this one as well. We also gave this one an extension. So, man, these past two episodes of the anime have not been that great for these ones.
These two.
Yeah,
for these two. So, yeah, we'll see kind of where this goes. And yeah, we got one more episode left for this one. So, looking at you, man.
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. But yeah, gotta move on to our next anime on the list, which is Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated in a Total Fantasy Knockout, episode 3. Man, this is my first time actually pronouncing that whole thing.
Another great episode.
Yeah, oh my god. So it was funny because the one anime I was actually worried about, like, getting repetitive and like not getting super into. I've actually enjoyed this one a lot, especially with this episode. Oh my gosh.
I actually enjoy this one too. It's kind of it's bad, it's trash, but it's
stupid,
like,
but it's like, I don't know what it is. I feel like it's when it comes to like self-aware anime that's like it knows how bad it is, and like it actually can tell jokes that are pretty funny. That's probably a soft spot for me. I'm like, okay.
I personally love the I love the weirdo dynamic between their two leads. Like, it's so bizarre and different that it like actually entertains me because of how like stupidly weird it is.
It's funny because it's especially funny this episode with the elf.
Premiere.
Yeah, because we find out
she's freak out
because we find out that like the bunny thing that they killed in the
the
first episode was actually a garden deity it was a garden deity of the
goddess
forest.
That was like so full of herself that turned him into a girl was actually like their god.
Yeah.
That they worship.
and the fact that was it Jinguji, like the fact that he was straight up just like, hey, maybe you should just find a different religion that actually is worth following. It's like, you can't just do religion conversion like that, man. That's weird.
That is weird.
Oh man.
Other than that, I hated her character. She was like the most stuck up, prissy. Oh man.
Hey, I mean, it fits the elf stereotype really well. That like elves are like the noble, like they look high and mighty.
She's just like a high school popular girl.
Yeah.
Who knows how old she is since she's an elf?
Who knows? Who knows how good looking she is? She's got a strip every time she meets someone new.
I feel like the anime knows this, like how stuck up she is, so they basically take every opportunity to just bully the hell out of her, especially towards the end.
Especially her girls behind her.
Oh yeah, they know this too. They're like, oh come on,
like this thing again.
Like, what's wrong with her?
Yeah, and then when her hair got butchered too. By,
I like that scene. That was so like like out of nowhere, like how the rock
when
just.
he throws the
I love
rock
when
and
he
it just
chucks the rock.
It just cut her hair.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
He actually aimed at her head, but she moved out of the way, and he was like, "Oh, that would have killed her."
Oops. I didn't realize what this rock was made of. Still thinking that like he himself isn't like super strong because of this world. He just assumes that okay, this rock is amazing.
Deflecting the arrow like nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was just casually getting shot, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess this is happening. Whatever.
Dumb.
Oh, and then the later bit where they're like, where there our two main characters were getting drunk and stuff, and Hinata was finding. I was like, oh shoot, he's like, you should, your new body is probably not super tolerant to alcohol. It's like,
Oh my god, that was so dumb. I was like half a beer. Now it wasn't even like the full beer.
Oh, it was just a half can.
It was a
a
tiny
half can
body.
because she's a lightweight now.
Yeah.
She's tiny and
Super
right?
lightweight, yeah. But again, the main thing wasn't the alcohol. Surprisingly, the main thing is the fact that the meat that Jinguji cooked was actually from the guardian deity.
I'm surprised he kept that. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, what?
we're like 3 episodes in and he still had that.
I think it was weird.
They got a refrigerator.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
They
You're
got a
right.
fridge. They got like
Yeah.
actual modern appliances.
Yeah.
I still don't know how that works. How do they summon the door to his apartment?
It
I don't
just
understand.
happens at this point.
I mean, if you've seen the ED, then like the door just kind of like
it just pops
comes out of
in.
nowhere. No, but the fact that the elf like again like just proves to like just how much the anime just loves bullying her. The fact that like she looks at the meat, she's super hungry, and she just takes a bite out of it.
Oh, I know.
And you see the deity in the background.
Yeah. Like, okay, I guess my meat is going to nourish your body. Okay, this is happening.
So this is the 3rd episode.
This is the 3rd episode.
So what is everyone's opinion of this?
So again, I'm gonna. It sounds super surprising that I'm saying this because again, like a couple weeks ago, even like I would have been like, yeah, just stick to 3. But you know what? I'm honestly thinking of keeping this one. It's actually like again for how stupid it is, how whatever it is, it's actually pretty entertaining. Like again, like it's stupid, but like the comedy it still works, and the show itself is self-aware of just how dumb it is. Yeah, I'm now keeping it.
To be brutally honest, I'm in the same boat as Robbie because I feel like if we judge everything so hard on this season specifically, I feel like we're gonna have like
3, 4 shows.
like everything's gonna be
That's
dry
gonna be-
because this season, as probably our viewers know and everything, is not very strong
No.
with really top tier anime.
It's
So like I'm down to keep this. It's entertaining. I don't mind watching it.
fun.
Like I'm
If
not,
there's-
I'm not sitting there being like,
compare-
God, I wish it was over.
Compared to the other 2 shows.
yeah, this
Yeah.
one's
It's leagues better.
Oh, yeah,
compared to the
much
other two
so.
shows.
Yeah.
This one's cool. And again, like like you said, even though this season isn't fit for like new anime, the two big sequel seasons that are out right now are like juggernauts. So that alone, anybody could be like, oh my god, the season's amazing if if you're just in it for just those 2 shows.
Yeah, it reminds me of the summer season of last year.
Oh yeah, where it's just the sequel anime that's just been like amazing.
And the one knockout.
Yeah, so. But yeah, that was Genius. Well, no, that was Life with an Ordinary Guy. We're keeping this one, episode 3. We're still keeping this one. So yeah, welcome aboard to our main line of shows.
Finally, welcome aboard.
Finally, we got another one. It's just aboard. But yeah, with that, we're going to be moving on to our next anime. This one is the anime Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt, episode 3.
Oh man, this one was weird.
You know what?
This one,
It actually it actually started having like a story.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, because this
Like,
one,
I have to give kudos to that.
Yeah,
It wasn't
this-
just like random nonsense. Like
this
I
one's
thought
not
it was. It
focused-
actually was like, we got another girl here. She's kind of
Loa.
crazy. Yeah,
Mm.
she's kind of wacky. She's kind of rambunctious.
little tricky,
rebel
a little
teen.
Mickey. Just kind of weird. But yeah,
Kind of wants to start a war.
Yeah,
kind of wants to start a
Heck
war.
yeah.
but,
casually start a war.
But if you're looking for war in this episode, then this isn't it because
Yeah.
there's no combat in this episode. This
There is no
episode is
combat.
mostly about, like you said, introducing their new girl Loa, talking about Wayne's backstory and kind of like what his whole a little bit into his life on the academy was like and all that. So yeah, it's a nice change of pace, and I feel like and I could always appreciate like when anime like this like kind of offers us like episodes like this where it just kind of slows down and we get to like kind of learn more about our characters.
Yeah, I actually like Loa, the character. Like she was, because you don't know what she's up to.
Yeah.
Because like even though she says this, like she really means this.
Yeah.
And like she's not revealing her whole play, and that's like I think that's the most interesting part. Is like what is her real play?
I like that they keep bringing it up on the
episode.
The episode itself. They're peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Because they have similarities to each other.
They do.
Our MC and her.
They absolutely do. And then like of course you also have to bring up the whole issue with Ninim as well.
On her race, right?
Yeah, because this whole time, when you look at those two, you think, oh, Ninim and Wayne are probably gonna get together, but then Ninim later says that, oh, I'm a flam, I can't be able to, I can't be married to you. It's like I'd rather slit my own throat because I'd be leading him astray. I'm like, man. Yeah. So like
that hurts because we saw I think in the second episode where she's like,
the first and second,
and she's like hoping that he's dreaming about her and stuff.
Yeah, because this anime makes it very very clear that Ninim's race or Ninim's ethnicity or whatever you want to call it is not very looked on. Against. Yeah, they're very discriminated against. They're basically like 86, where they're just like looked down upon.
They're the Ash Fallen.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, yeah,
they are like the Ash Fallen. Yeah.
Yeah, and
the red eyes.
We're still like kind of realizing from like even the last episode, even in other nations, like they're like hated. Yeah. Why do you have a dirty,
Plum, yeah.
as your right hand man? It's like, are you kidding me? Like,
why does that matter?
Like,
hey, Wayne handled it in peace, right?
Wayne is like, he's a good person. Like, he doesn't look like he doesn't care about being a noble. Basically, he's just sitting there and he's like, I don't care, whatever. I want to lose the kingdom.
Even when nobility does get brought up, he usually just addresses himself as like backwater nobility.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, my nobility status doesn't really mean much.
His kingdom sucks. Like, it's like if your kingdom was in like Antarctica. No one lives there. It's cold and there's no. It's in poverty.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not a traveling spot.
No, not at all, I guess, according to them. But going into that though, it's like after what happened with that whole skirmish with the other nation that they fought up against and everything, it's like, where does this go? Where does this lead to next? Because you have Loa that is a sire of that is a descendant of the Empire, but she doesn't actually agree with the Empire at all, and she's like, let's start a war. Let's just get rid of the Empire. Like, I know this whole marriage thing or whatever, but honestly, I just want you to just join me and just take over the Empire.
Yeah, because my brothers.
Yeah, I don't even care about it. We're just doing it for formalities. Because I have no shot of being the king of the Empire. So let's
go.
Let's do this.
F stuff up.
Tag team.
Basically. But is that really her agenda? That's what we don't get.
I don't know. We don't know. I mean,
we don't know. We don't even know if it's Wine's agenda. They're both the same. They don't know each other very well.
We did barely get introduced to these characters, so
yeah. And like Josh said earlier, it's now getting interesting because now now we're building up something instead of general of the week,
Yes, that is indeed the case. And another thing that I guess since we did get Wayne's flashback into his classmates and everything. We also need to know kind of those other two characters, the other two guys that are in the class as well.
Oh, Glenn and Strand.
Yes, we don't know. We haven't met them yet.
Nope.
So
that strong dude.
We don't know kind of what they're about. So.
No, yeah, and obviously this is episode 3, and
this is episode 3.
I feel like just obviously hearing this conversation, I feel like we're keeping it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I think this one surprisingly was pretty good.
Yeah,
it's a lot better than the other.
Yeah, the No Drip King.
Yeah,
the no drip anime.
Yeah, and I think
this guy's got mad drip.
Yeah,
mad drip and mad respect.
I think what makes this anime work is that you don't just have his regular show personality, the personality that he obviously shows everybody. You also get to see his inner thoughts as well as the thoughts that he has whenever him and Ninim are alone. So that really helps. I love aspects of character aspects like that where it's you get two sides of this one character. So I think that alone like makes it entertaining, and I love to see kind of like where this goes. I want to see how far we get to take this concept of how much debt this guy can be able to take out for his kingdom or whatever. So yeah, so
or if he could get out of his debt.
That too, yeah. So yeah, Genius Prince, we're keeping you.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard, as we say here.
You made it.
We made it. We made the cut. Yeah, we're keeping this one, and yeah, moving on. We're gonna be moving on to our next anime, which is Sabikui Bisco, episode 3.
Oh man.
Now that's a lot of damage.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We finally get that. We finally get that fated fight between Bisco and Pau, and ooh, there were like a lot of hands thrown, like a lot of secrets and stuff revealed.
A lot of like, you failed to notice that my arrow on your pole got infected.
It's straight up shonen.
I'm at least glad that they explained about the mushroom keepers
Yeah.
and stuff, because I was sitting here like I'm lost.
Nah, the mushroom keepers, they're again, it just kind of goes back to the whole like, oh, everybody's spreading rumors. Oh, mushrooms are where the rusts are, so obviously the mushrooms are bad. Well, it turns out no, mushrooms actually
Eat the rust.
They actually do eat the rust, and they're like the one organism that is actually completely immune to this catastrophe that's been killing off all this life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, what?
Feeds off of it.
So I wonder like who made the rumor? Oh, who made the fact that mushrooms are bad?
The good guys.
Well, they actually explained it. They
yeah.
said what Rabbi said was just a bunch of people saw mushrooms growing near the rust, and they spread like a wildfire. Misinformation.
Yeah. So they just assumed that the mushrooms are the reason why the rust is starting, when in reality that isn't the case.
Because it takes a long time for the mushrooms to actually start eating it. Like when you plant a mushroom near the rust, they said in this anime that it takes like some months before it starts actually eating it. But once it starts eating it, just like gets rid of it all right away. So the people just see mushrooms near the rust and they think, oh my gosh, they're causing it, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, even
So,
I'm curious on I guess the sister getting injected. Was that to remove
I think it's to help.
That was to remove the rust. That Pao was making a whole bunch of mushroom infused medicine, and he had a whole bunch of it. So he just that's why he used on the old man.
Yeah.
Because it was his latest thing. He saw it working a little bit, and then when it was confirmed by our red-haired guy, he was like, "I knew it. I knew it was that."
Yeah.
So then he was able to use it on his sister while she was asleep, because obviously, if she found out that it was mushroom, she would never let him get.
Yeah.
That's why he had to make it in secret.
Yeah.
Gotta knock her out. Whatever he can do, all that stuff.
Because she's full on in this propaganda. She's like the leader of it.
And it also doesn't help that she's also like a military official too, which you know.
Yeah.
The government is of course not super keen on the whole mushroom stuff. So.
Yeah, but it also begs the question too, because we saw like how there's different forms of rust. Like the old man had really bad rusting, but but then when Akaboshi sees Pao is rusting, he's like, how is she even walking? Like it's horrible.
Yeah,
because
because
like
Pao
taking
was
up
like
over half her body.
Yeah, because Pao was just horrible. But hey,
Yeah.
you got your badass like no nonsense older sister character, you know.
knocking our man on a bowling pin.
I do like her, but it seemed like with this episode that we won't be seeing her for a long time.
No.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like goodbye. I felt that was really abrupt. How he was like, "I want you to be my partner," and Mia was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Sure. Right away. And it's like you didn't even think about your sister, you didn't even think about your ladies in the doctor's clinic or anything like that.
No,
like,
that they're worried about you.
I'm gonna go with this random guy I just met like 3 hours ago who tried to kill me.
Basically.
Find the secret of the mushrooms.
Destroyed my whole clinic.
Destroyed my whole clinic. Like,
I think that's why he went, because he was like, my clinic, what am I going back to?
Yeah. Not only that, but like when the show first started, like he himself like came up with the theory that like, hey, these mushrooms might not be bad. And so like when he finally found like, oh, these are the guys that are like trying to find the rust eaters, and these guys actually do harness the power of mushrooms, it's like, yeah, I might as well go with them.
I get that and I understand that, but I'm just thinking like in the first episode you could clearly tell that he loved his sister, and that's all he like thought about, and that's all his main goal was, and now he's just like, she'll be fine. I just left her a baggie of mushrooms. Like, she'll be fine. It's okay. It's like, dude, why didn't they just take her with us? She was knocked out. What would she have said if she was riding on a crab? Wait, like, oh, I'm gonna fight you? Like, no, dude, you're out of the city. Like you have to join us now. We're kidnapping you.
That's true, to keep her around and stuff.
And it would have been a good dynamic because, you know, I feel like people who watch this anime like her. Like, she's kind of, you know, bit of a mommy. So,
hey man, that's why
I want to get beat up by her. So, you know.
Hey man, that's why we have the other girl who looks like she's gonna be venturing from
the other girl there. But then we also have the annoying pink hair girl that's like a scammer.
Yeah,
and I don't even know her purpose in there.
Yeah, we don't know anything about her, so it's kind of like, what's going on with her?
But yeah,
the funniest part was just when she's like, I didn't even think you were a bad guy. Please don't hurt me. I didn't even think you're a bad guy. I was against this. I'm all for you. Go mushrooms.
Yeah,
go mushrooms.
Yeah. With that being said, this is episode 3. So, what do you guys think? What do you boys want to do?
It's interesting, definitely. Like, it might not be the greatest show ever so far, in my opinion, but it's definitely unique. So I think we should keep it because it has potential. I see potential in it.
I think of the shows that we have said that we're keeping, I think this one's probably the one that I have the strongest feelings for. We're wanting to keep. Again, I could be wrong because I have been wrong before. I guess all of us have been wrong before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a feeling that this one's gonna be pretty solid.
Yeah, same here. I think the second episode convinced me. It was like, you know, we had a giant crab, we had hippos with cannons.
Yeah, the animation's also really.
The animation's really good. Too, you know, fights, and I'm just like, all right, I'm down. I'm with it. You know, like, you know, anime is cool when it gets serious and when it gets, you know, rom-com, but like I like my weird stuff too.
Yeah, same here.
I like my weird crabs.
Yeah.
The way you said it.
Mushrooms.
So yeah, I'm down to keep it as well.
He loves his drugs.
So my shrooms.
So welcome aboard as well.
Welcome aboard. I think this is the last one that we have to worry about too, because like everything else from here on is all set. So yeah.
So basically,
good to go with this one.
Next week is just two animes where
we're still iffy on, so we're still kind of keeping an eye on. But for now, rest assured, for Bisco, we're keeping this one. So
we're gonna see if the rust gets out.
Yeah, that we will.
Or we rust.
Maybe. All right, and now moving on to our next anime, we have My Dress Up Darling, episode 4. This one is pretty much a just Gojo episode.
It's a depressing episode.
I'm really, you know, this anime has blown me away, to be honest. Well, it dives into like the mind of people, because like he didn't even have to say, oh, I'm having anxiety, I'm overwhelmed. You just saw it, and they did a good job of not making it like really like unrealistic looking, like oh, you see the panic on their faces, stuff like that. They showed it subtly, you know, just the things building up and up, and he thinks he's under control, but he's setting up his days. He's like, I can do it tomorrow.
You could tell from
my
the
grandfather, you know,
and
stuff like that. And then things keep piling up. He has to study for his test, and you see him get more tired until like the breakdown moment where he's laying down a bunch of basically garbage all over the place, and he's just
not
sitting
taking
there,
care
and
of
he's
himself.
like contemplating life
that one
and
little
everything.
Tissue.
And then the whole grandfather thing too.
Oh yeah,
it was a funny moment, but I was like, wait,
started funny.
Really quick.
It started funny, but then you realize that, you know, he's old, and like a fall like that is not good for him. So
it's very fragile.
Yeah, so they had to take him to the hospital, and you know his cousin came. And it's like, oh man, everything's just kind of falling apart.
And it felt awkward with his cousin because wasn't his cousin the one who made fun of him for that?
I don't remember if it was this one,
or was that his sister? I don't remember, but
I think it was just a school kid. I think.
No,
we haven't seen him.
I felt like that they were related because that sticks in his mind, right? Like a lot. I thought there was something going on there.
It might have not been her, but I feel like she has something to do with it. Maybe. Hopefully we'll see more about that.
Because I can definitely tell that they're not really all that close.
Yeah.
Like they're just obviously it's related.
Kind of like family too in general.
Yeah.
Not all family members you see all the time.
I do like the fact that he's not his one and only grandson. It's like, you know, there's more. He had more kids, and he has more grandchildren.
Yeah, like when Grandpa was showing the pictures of like I guess like a granddaughter.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, what's her? Where is she? You know, in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just going back to how Josh was explaining, like they didn't have to tell us. I think we love that, like how you don't like show us of how Gojo's like going through like life and all the problems, because you know us being adults, like it happens like almost all the time. It was like
it does, yeah.
It's like you gotta juggle this, you gotta juggle that, and then like, oh, we don't have time for this, but you really want to make time, so I'll just lose sleep, and that's all obviously the worst thing you could do.
Ooh, yeah.
So
I also love one of the moments I really liked was when he actually gets up and starts working. He gets motivated to start working again, and then he gets like almost demotivated, like he's crying, he's upset, but he's motivated, and then when he loses his scissors, he gets like demotivated again.
Yeah.
Like, he starts panicking again about it, and then he has to like regroup and focus back on, you know, sewing again, because he starts like, where's my scissors? I can't work without my scissors. I need my scissors. You know, he starts panicking and getting in that anxiety state. And I've been there, and I know how that feels. And it's like the littlest thing can set you over the edge of like
this one. And there's one minor detail when he said like, I'm done. I'm going to sleep now.
yeah.
When he texted that to her, like all serious and angry, like, you know, and he realized later on that he never even communicated that he was doing this. So she's just thinking like, what's wrong with him? Right? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I also, again, I know I'm talking a lot, but I love the reaction of Kitagawa when she finds out he worked hard. Like, that was a really realistic with her breaking down and being and profusely apologizing because she pushed him so hard, and she realizes like how tired he looks and stuff like that. And she's like, you're insane for doing that. Like, it starts off as like, I didn't want to go in 2 weeks. There's lots of conventions, and then she realizes again. He did all that work, and he's like, "Oh my god! Like I messed this man up for a while."
It's like what I said last week. Is Kitagawa is best girl? No way, Jose, man. Like this is like proof. Like she, like you even see it throughout the episode.
She owns the season.
Oh, most definitely. And like you even see like throughout the episode, it's like, oh, I wonder. Oh, I know Gojo's going through a lot, but you know, I wanted to check on him, but I guess he's not here. And I'm like,
yeah, because all she had in her mind is like, she's probably visiting a grandfather.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was the only information she got.
Miscommunications like that happen a lot too. Like, it's completely realistic. It's in the realm of reality where like stuff like that could happen.
But hey,
that's what's so great.
After all that stress of Gojo, like he did it though.
He did.
He just wanted to see it, man. Yeah. He just wanted to see it at the end. He wanted to see the dress itself.
Wanted to see that smile.
I also love how Kitagawa is like so, like it's so obvious, like these social situations and including Gojo in these things and talking to him and like being friends or even more with that is like so obvious. But I still, whenever I see them interact, like there's a difference. Like she's so comfortable around him already, like right away, and so like we're friends. Like, hey, let's you know, trade contact information. I don't know why we didn't do this first, but Gojo's like,
they address that.
Gojo still views her as like superior in the hierarchy. Like he's below and she's above, while she just views him like right here, like
a low tier character.
Yeah.
But they traded off information like nothing, pretty much.
No, like naturally. Like
that was good, but I felt like he would have never done that if she didn't ask first, you know.
And I think it was a cool point too, because like, you know, obviously he was going through a lot with his grandpa, so I was like, oh, if you need someone to talk to, I'll be here, so let's trade contact. So
and also like how when I was watching it, I was feeling for him because I know that he was trying so hard to like kind of win her over with this, making this dress, compared to, you know, her just being like, you're doing a favor for me, like you're awesome, you're cool, let's be, you know, best friends, you know. Well, he's like, I have to win her over or else she'll be sad. Like he's not thinking about himself, he's not thinking about the relationship, he's just thinking about, I need to make her happy because she asked me a favor, I need to do it, you know. But it wasn't like that. It was like, you do it on your own time.
There was so much like writing on Gojo and just kind of like him basically self-inflicting those deadlines, those like amount of like just stress and just pressure on himself. Gotta like take care of the shop, you have to tend to your grandpa, you have to like do your grades,
the Frenchman,
all that stuff. The Frenchman.
The French guy.
All that stuff. So.
He didn't have to do that, but he did it. He was like, hey, my man, this guy likes Tina dolls, I'm gonna show him around. And it just speaks volumes of this show. It's like how, like obviously our main girl wasn't the main focus, but like Gojo, like as a character, is so interesting. And it's like so relatable. This episode was so relatable. I'm
so glad that they were able to get a character, like a male main character, like this amount of like intrigue. Like you're actually like interested in this character, even though he's like, oh, he's not a girl or whatever. It's like, he's still interesting in his own right. Like with his love with Tina dolls.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
All that stuff. Like he's really cool.
Yeah, like the whole lashes things and stuff. I was like, man, this is interesting.
Oh yeah.
And I think the power of the show that has over everyone, honestly.
I love that she was kind of like sussed out. She was like, why do you have these?
Are these your girlfriends?
Oh yeah,
the title
of the episode. Yeah.
Yep, that's true. But yeah, I mean, like we could go on and on about this.
Yeah,
episode
the show's amazing.
Like the show is just like it just knocks it out of the park with every episode.
If you're gonna watch any show this season, like honestly,
let it be this one. Let it be this one.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one is like actually a really realistic like relationship developing here. We don't have any of the. It's not really anime tropey or anything like that. It's actually like a real.
It tackles it, man.
Love.
It takes you for a loop, and it's just entertaining all throughout. It's just amazing, but yeah. Like I said, we could go on and on, but we do gotta move on to our next anime. And next up we have is Princess Connect Season 2, Episode 3.
Oh man.
Team BB
another one that's blowing me away this season. Like seriously, last
Team
season was
BB
more
is
like
back, baby. BB Dunn is back.
Last season was more Monster of the Week, in my opinion. Like it was kind of like, oh, they're just doing stuff. This one's been really intense. Like there's been some really intense moments. Like you got
Team BB's
your goofy
around,
comedy, which actually hits really well in the show. You know, with Ao and Team BB and all that
Team
weird
BB.
nonsense going on there. I love the new character. The new character is awesome. She's Roxy from.
Yes, I was about to say that. I was like, that's
all
Roxy.
The way. Let's go.
She's Roxy, dude. Her voice fits perfectly.
I know.
She's, like she's kind of aloof and not like all like she's kind of like dumb like socially.
Yeah, kind of like BB dumb.
But super intellectually like crazy. Like she's already figured out that there's discrepancies in this world, and that this world is really weird, and people shouldn't take it at face value because there's something manipulating behind the scenes on it. It's like, wow.
I knew watching this, I was like, that's a Josh character I've ever seen one. Like I was like, oh man, he's gonna love that character.
Still BB Dunn, but still.
But Uni, I liked her too. I'm obviously being voice of Roxy, and I was like, man, she's especially the best joke in this episode with Rosetta Stone. I was dying, bro.
I love towards the end.
Starts like
I love towards the end.
Evil voice, and she's running, and she's like, "This is really scary, but I'm also really intrigued. Like, this is really cool." And she's like, and she's got the face.
I love that towards the end. I love that towards the end, like when they brought up Team BB, like it was actually like, oh, this is actually just like Team BB.
Like I's not really weird. I'm kind of the same boat with
her. Also, can we talk about Carol's facial expressions as they're running away? I laughed. They're hilarious.
Oh my god,
she is like screaming and crying. It is like the most dramatic thing I've ever seen in my life.
That scene caught me off guard when she snapped her neck.
Hey, I mean, to be fair, she saw too much. I mean, again, you got the Green Guardians. It turns out it was actually Team BB all along.
And she had all their corpses like lined up. And I'm like, dude, you killed them all.
It's like when he leaves, it's like, oh shoot, Aoi, what are you doing? This isn't worth, man.
Yeah, and she puts them all and leaves, and then they look back, and it's just Yuki and them just staring at them like,
oh damn,
what's going on?
What is
here?
this? Oh no, God. Aoi, what have you done?
I love that they bring it back. They bring it back like. Better not snap my neck again.
Don't worry, guys.
I like how it wasn't like a chokehold or anything. She literally went up and killed them.
You've seen too much. Team BB doesn't need you.
It was definitely an I and Uni episode, but it was weird where it went because the whole theory with Uni is like, oh, don't take things face value. And like the whole the I feel like it was the Fairy King
world, the world starts to shatter.
I love that too, because I love how there was that really good mix of comedy where it was like, oh, this is a funny, they're running away and stuff like that. But then it got really dark and serious.
Yeah.
But also made sense in the long run. Like we got to see Pekka Rin's like extreme kindness, you know, like she's shown her kindness throughout, but like that was really like everyone else was frozen in fear.
It's great too because she wasn't like the main. She wasn't the main point of the. She wasn't the main point of the character. She wasn't like her character wasn't like the main focus of the episode. But like she still had her moment to shine, and you know she was able to.
And you know she was the one who could tell and communicate and release the memories, and the memories were really scary and dark. And I'm enjoying it because we see these things that are happening. You know, we see the Beast King that clearly is not the daughter. Like, how did she manipulate her way to become queen when it's supposed to be Pecorine as the queen, right? Like, how did that happen, you know? And then we see Uni talking about discrepancies and making a thesis about and getting laughed off the stage. We find out at the end, basically saying that she's delusional. It's like, what is going on here? Like, this world is really like dark and scary, and we even see like the shadows and stuff that are coming out. Like, it has those lighthearted comedy moments, but also intertwines really well that like mix of scary. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this. You probably did. I probably Rabbi noticed it, but there's a girl that keeps popping up last season and this season in the background.
That's another character.
We don't even know her. She just pops up.
She literally popped up in the corner. Yeah, me and David were talking about that.
It's like that's really creative writing, because usually they just tell us about the character right away. But to have a character appear in 2 seasons where you don't know her name or anything, but she's just kind of there in the background, is crazy.
That's what I like about this show in general. Like, for like app game wise, like, you don't have to see every single character, but you could always see them in the background. You'll eventually get to them once in a while. You get me? That's what's cool about when they showed her again.
This anime never rushes either. It's like it's gonna go at its own pace. It's gonna tell the story at its own pace, and it's gonna tell it in a mysterious way. Like, I didn't expect this anime to be a mystery. I expected it to be like Konosuba-esque, just pure comedy. But it's like a mystery at this point. Like, it's weird.
There's an overarching part. Yeah, there's an overarching plot in all this. So
it's great. You know, and Uni comes up with the theory that they think they saw another world. Like, they think that like the memories kind of jumbled together. That's why you saw the pixelation and stuff. Like they're in their own world, and it's really interesting. That's why I love Uni as a character.
Yeah, hopefully she comes back. I know, like,
I mean, if Aoi came back, then I'm sure Uni will come back too.
Hopefully, because that's a very interesting character, and like, you know, this show likes to do the one-offs, you know, to show all the characters in the game. So hopefully she comes back. But that was a good episode.
It was a really solid episode.
It was a phenomenal episode.
Team BB all the way.
Team BB all the way.
Man, we need a little tree stump plushie.
we got a little tree stump.
And the squad, right? The whole squad.
The Green Guardians.
The Green Guardians.
Or just Yuki and the tree stump. In the very first part of it, when he views the tree stump, he's like, "Oh no, it's gonna happen." I remember.
He's like,
another funny moment with Yuki was with the book. He just picks up the book.
Oh, and then puts it in the bag.
Yeah, he's like, you can't run away from reality. What already happened already happened.
And then she's like, don't turn away from reality. If you're wondering why I'm here, it's because I fell off and I decided to stay the night here.
Oh my god.
Like, I love her, dude. She's amazing.
Yeah, Uni, awesome character.
It's like that one Simpsons episode where like Skinner's like trapped underneath a whole bunch of newspaper clippings.
But suddenly the pile fell. I was trapped.
Oh man.
But yeah, that was episode 3 of Princess Connect. Great episode as usual. Can't wait to see more. But with that, gotta move on to our next anime. We have Ousama ranking episode 15.
Oh man.
The Hokuro.
We get to see Domas again.
The Hokuro and Domas show.
Yeah.
We get to kind of see that plot between Boji and Domas kind of come to head again.
Especially with Boji.
Oh my goodness! I'm really glad that because up until now they didn't address this at all with like what happened, like what Domas did to Boji, and like Boji immediately just starts panicking.
He's traumatized.
Vietnam flashback.
He's literally having PTSD from him pushing him off the cliff, and you know.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Betrayal and as Kage said, he felt his emotions. He was having hatred and
resentment,
malice, and he wanted to kill him.
He was like, I'm not gonna let Boji turn to the darkness like I did.
Yep.
Oh, I like that too. The little flashback he had too.
So powerful.
His family were killed.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, man. But I really love that they showed Boji like being traumatized because he didn't forget, and it's like it hurts him just to see Domas.
Yeah, but
And Domas the same way
is in pain as well because he
did it.
He was ordered to do that, but he was like, this is the biggest mistake of my life.
No, it's interesting because like it's interesting though because he didn't recognize Miranjo's name at all. Which was something that like we thought like him, Appi, so they were all in on it, but like as soon as
he didn't recognize her name at all.
Yeah, as soon as the guards mentioned like Miranjo, he's like, who's Miranjo?
And it's weird that I forget like in the very beginning of the show they talk about the big four, right?
Yes.
And when they brought up him being the big four, I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The big four.
Because
it kind of makes sense because it's like we haven't seen Domas in a long time. He's been isolated, so he's kind of behind. He doesn't really know what's happening with everything.
Mm-hmm.
He knows Bose is in Daida's body, but that's about it. That's all he knows.
Yeah.
He's been with Hokuro training the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, even Desha and stuff like that, he's coming in being like, why are you guys invading? What's going on the surface? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
He doesn't know that all prisoners were released or anything like that.
It was funny and sad at the same moment, the scene where he kind of suicide himself.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it looked like he died.
Yeah.
he landed on his head.
Yeah.
That was sad more to me because even though they kind of played it off as a joke when he got up and started crying again because he couldn't go through with it. It was sad because it was like it was sad because it was like he feels such guilt for what he did that he'd be willing to, but also in his heart he still has that cowardice that made him do it in the first place where he couldn't go through with it.
Yeah.
I never thought I would say this, but Domas is kind of redeeming himself.
Kind of.
Yeah. But
I think it's safe to say that Miranjo is the bad guy.
Yes,
now.
the big villain.
But the misunderstood one too, because like again, like we have seen hints of like what her backstory is. We don't know her
motivation for doing this at all.
Other than trying to impress Bose.
Yeah, trying to make Bose like literally like the strongest of them all.
I'm curious with our Demon King,
I mean, obviously they showed it off a little bit on the opening because you can kind of guess kind of what the whole deal about that is. The Demon King.
Oh yeah.
Because you see like Miranjo playing with another kid that's like red, red in skin color.
Yeah.
So, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together.
No, they grew up together and stuff.
Yeah, and they were like maybe childhood friends or something like that. And obviously, Miranjo.
I'm honestly wondering where Daida is in all this. We haven't seen him in a hot minute. Like still, in his prison-sized body.
Still stuck in his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not nervous, but I want to see how he's doing. If he's gone crazy or if he's figuring out a way to get in his form back or something like that.
Literally anything can happen. So
this is one thing I did like. I know Queen Healing was not part of this episode, but I like the part when Boji and the gang go down and it's like, and then Dosha's like, dang, he's really changed. And he's like, it's like, of course. That's my son.
He's my son.
I love that because she's, we had all these moments with Queen Healing where we were like, oh, she kind of sucks. Like she sucks at being a mom. And she's not the greatest mom in the world, but she's like, she
tries her damn best.
She's proud of Boji. She wants him to do well, and seeing him grow up and get stronger and defeat that monster and stuff in front of her. He's like, she wants to take a little bit of credit for that.
Yeah,
for raising him with love.
Yeah, it was subtle, it was little, but I felt it was impactful. I was like, damn, man.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Oh man, but yeah, no, this one's gonna be interesting because this whole like scenario right now that we're about to witness is basically Boji versus Desha.
Yeah,
well, essentially what this is.
Well, technically, because remember, the other two are just trying to protect them right now. Since Boji's like, they don't know Boji's trained.
No, exactly.
No, they don't. Like immediately, like you see, like even though Boji was gonna like about to like get into that battle position, like you still immediately see Hokuro and Domas like try to like protect him.
Oh, and one more thing I want to mention was like when. Domo's was smart, right? Because he took the high ground, but the stairs were so that way he has a better chance to fight them. And even the guards were like, "Oh, it's a smart move."
That is a smart move. Yeah.
So like, we'll just send one by one and see how we do. And remember the cocky guard? He was
It's like, I got a giant sword. I just have to swing you, and then you'll be like paced. But then he immediately just like falls
like
down.
that. Like those subtle things in the show. Like that's what makes it really good and really super enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, man, show's awesome.
I feel like, next episode we're gonna be seeing more of Miranjo because we haven't seen Miranjo in a hot minute either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that's how we also see the fact that the king has similar powers as Despa as well.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they're brothers,
bro. The bros. So,
but the one brother's more darker than the other because when Despa used his lightning bolt kind of ish thing, it was natural.
Yeah, Desha's kind of
like it's like in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, another solid episode of Ousama ranking. I mean, again, it's just an anime that just keeps giving. So
heck yeah.
Can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. But yeah, moving on, we have
Demon Slayer, the Entertainment District arc, episode 9, and
But the battle continues.
Battle continues. I'm saying oof because of what happened later in the episode, but I guess like overall this is just more or less like a continuation of what the fight already was between.
For me, I think it was a really good showcase of like them working together.
Mm-hmm.
For once, and I have to say it. I love Zenitsu when he's sleeping way better than when he's awake. Please stay asleep forever. Never wake up.
I feel like they should make edits of like him actually like, being awake, like taking away his snot bubble and like having his eyes open.
No,
because I feel like no.
I don't want to see that.
You don't want to see him like awake, acting badass.
I don't want to see him awake. Period. I like when he's asleep. He's like a man. He's out there. He's like telling Tanjiro what to do and stuff. I'm like, dude,
especially with those
badass. Yeah, he's badass, dude. He's all cut up. He's like dodging everything.
Yeah, especially like when he was like giving orders to like Inosuke and stuff. Like that was oof. he was completely like on key.
Dude, I'm amazed how much Tanjiro's taking. Like after this, he's screwed for sure.
Oh yeah, Tanjiro was like taking a huge beating. Like you can definitely tell like how much like him and Tengen are like on their last legs. Especially like after like he used up all that energy like trying to save like one of Tengen's wife Hinatsuru. Like oh man, like it was getting super intense. All while Tanjiro's like acting at like 5% capacity, basically like 5% battery left.
Yeah, to a point where his like body's giving out already.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild. Like you can definitely tell like we're reaching that end, but like even though that end is going to be coming like really quickly, like at the same time it's feeling like it's taking forever.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen now. I'm like,
it feels like honestly that you watch them fight and it's just like, oh, here we go again, over and over again. Like they kill this girl, they cut off her head, and then she just comes back. It's like, when's she gonna die?
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I have a feeling.
Legit.
I have a feeling it's gonna be like they gotta chop both their heads at the same time because both of them work simultaneously. So that's what I think. They both had to die at the same time. That's why she's still alive.
Yeah, because
it's not looking good.
Yeah, because it feels really weird because like even though our main trio like go out and like try to do their entire best, like trying to fight Daki, and you see Inosuke like using his brain to like use his swords as like saw blades. It's like Daki's still alive. Like it's just, like it's not like it's helping like ever so slightly, but it's not like actually solving the problem. So it's just been one crazy roller coaster after another, with how this fight's going, because like no one knows like how or what to do in this situation.
I don't even know how they could end up taking him down. It's pretty confusing on how they're gonna end up killing him.
Yeah,
since everyone's already like, Inosuke's poisoned as well.
Oh, it might be dead. Dude got stabbed through the entire body.
He got smashed.
Uzu Tengen has his arm cut off.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Tengen's flashback picnic?
I liked it because
That's pretty cute. Yeah.
it just showed like much needed character development.
Yeah.
About
like,
him, how
it
he
shows-
views like heaven and hell. He's like, I'm going to hell, but it's okay.
It really shows just how genuinely like he cares about his wives, like they're not just like, oh, they're just trophy wives or whatever. Like he genuinely like cares for each of them,
Yeah.
like each of their safety, like being like, hey, no matter what happens, all 4 of us, we're gonna make it out,
Yeah.
Pretty.
It also showed how they get like jealous of each other too, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. It's like, I want the pedal, no me.
I'm pretty much what he said. Like, I think when he was talking to his family, I guess his Tombstone family, he's like,
Yeah.
in general, he's like, oh, like I'm gonna live my life flashy
Yeah.
for you guys. And I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it just kind of it flushes out, Tengen. It gives him that much needed like backstory that that was just kind of like ambiguous for the longest time during that first episode all the way till now.
If anything, he's getting more development more than Rengoku.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
100%.
Which again, it's funny because like the last episode, the end of the last episode, or I believe the episode before that, like Tengen was like actively like I can't be like Rengoku. Like Rengoku is like in his own plane, up until he passed. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like this is the cliffhanger. This is like the cliffhanger. This is the cliffhangers of all cliffhangers right here.
Oh yeah.
It's like right when everything is about to go like horribly wrong, the episode ends.
Pretty much.
It makes me mad because most animes when I watch, I can just go to the next episode. But this one I can't. I have to wait a week.
Yeah, so we're suffering, we're suffering with Tanjiro. I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been one hell of a roller coaster. We just got 2 more episodes left, and just what did Omar say? Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Always.
Cautiously optimism. That's the perfect phrase for the show. So can't wait for the next episode. And yeah, with that, we move on to our next anime. We have
Dragon Quest Die, episode 67.
Hashtag Team Pop.
You mean
No, not
Honestly,
hashtag Team Drop.
Dude, honestly, the show, I'm on the hype train. Pop's the best character in the show.
Right? Thank
it's not even
you.
close.
It's about
not even
time.
close.
yeah, he's
He's
been
easily the best character. His whole arc with this Avon insignia thing leading up to the confession and everything was just like, it was perfect. It was really good storytelling.
Yeah, man.
It was a long time coming. I know we've been like joking about like Pop and everything like that, but no, it was legitimately like frustrating to see kind of like what was going on with Pop. I mean, like here he is just kind of like, everybody else is kind of doing their thing, and then all of a sudden like Pop is like
He can't do it.
He can't do it. Yeah, it's like
Like
what
a
the hell do I have to do?
normal guy,
Yeah.
He's just a normal dude, and among with these monsters and heroes and stuff. Like, what can he do? Like, obviously he's proven himself many times, but it's like, why can't my insignia glow like yours is can like so easily? And we find out why. It's like
We find out why, because he wasn't true to himself.
He wasn't true.
I'm
to
curious. So
feelings.
I'm curious. What is Dai's?
Yes, because they did mention like all the insignias and kind of like who had what, and of course they misrepresented Dai's and they thought Dai's was the one for courage.
Leona realizes that instead of Dai being courage, it's Pop who was courage.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
they don't know, like, how is Dai making his glow then? What is he thinking that no one else is realizing,
That's
willpower, maybe.
definitely something that we'll find out. But yeah, no, but with the whole Pop thing, oh man, like Merle taking that hit, I was like,
Man,
Damn.
you hate to see it.
of course.
It's a good ending arc for Merle because we know that she's loved Pop for a hot minute, like 30, 40 episodes at this point now.
Yes.
She constantly has been, on his side, worried about him all the time, being like, what's wrong with him? Why is he like this? Why is he struggling? Because we've seen Pop struggle in every single fight with his
and Merle was
with
there
his
for it,
mindset and him being too like eager to run away or being inferior.
Yeah.
Like every fight. If you go back and watch every fight in this show, all the arcs, you will see Pop at least once think that he's inferior to everyone else. And it's a good cap off to that story arc.
I noticed that, like, whenever we draw up, like, character comparisons and stuff, we usually bring, like, Dragon Ball. But I just realized, like, one thing that kind of, like, popped in my head with Pop and them. I actually have, like, a lot of, like, Naruto, like, comparisons.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Pop is, like, Naruto, Merle is, like, Hinata, Mom is, like, Sakura, and then you can kind of, like, chuck Kyunkel as, like, a Sasuke or something.
Okay, interesting.
In that sense, because, like, you have, like, these dynamics and everything. And obviously, Dragon Quest being first, that one was the first to do that and all that. But it's really solid. I really liked. It really goes to show, like, how much, like, Pop has improved, like, throughout the series, and just kind of like where he's at right now.
Oh yeah, it was very.
As much as it's the adventures of Dai and Dai's the main character, I feel like Dai's character is very simple. It's a very simple character. It's a very, I want to get stronger. I want to fight. I will, if I get beat down, I will stand up and fight again. Like, it's very
by comparison,
shonen type.
By comparison, Hyunkil and Pop are, like, way more complex.
Way more complex. Like, Hyunkil's got that strife where he's like Dai, but he's too much. He's crazy overboard. Like, he'll fight when he's dying, right? Like, because he wants to prove himself that he's not a bad guy anymore. That he's a member of the light side. He's still thinking like that.
He's still in that atonement mentality where it's like, no matter what I do,
so he's like, I will lay down my life and die for this cause. That's the way he operates. And then you have Pop, who's the opposite. He still has that kind of cowardice, I don't want to die. I don't want to lose my life to this, I want to be strong, but I can't. I'm not as good, he's inferiority complex. It's self-confidence issues.
The big thing that he kept bringing up in this episode in general is like, I don't want no one to sacrifice for me.
I want no one to die for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather just die right now, honestly. Like,
that's what he wanted to do when he wanted to walk back.
Oh yeah.
He was taking his steps already.
And I also love how Pop always compares himself to Hyunkil because he knows that Mom likes Hyunkil. That was really obvious to him right off the bat. So he's always comparing himself and knowing that, like, Hyunkil's like, this hunky guy who can do no wrong, and he fights and beats everyone he goes across. He could beat the darkness.
Right? But now the best question: what is Mom gonna say after that confession?
Well, now they're worried about
They're worried about Merle.
No.
What do you mean? No,
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Merle's gone, but Pop his healing power is so strong at this point that he
might resurrect.
He might be able to resurrect her because Leona's like he has such power. He has the power of a sage. He's crazy.
No, hopefully she comes back, but if not, then.
I feel like Omar, to answer your question about Mom, I feel like it's gonna be awkward. I feel like it's gonna be
right now.
The last time when Mom went to Pop about Hyunkil, it was very uncomfortable. It was very awkward.
But now she knows why.
Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna get it right away.
No. It's gonna be a little bit. We have other fish to fry, like Zabuera, and the fact that he chucked a whole bunch of monsters.
The Vern Palace.
Yeah, and also like Zabuera, like
saving the world, maybe.
And also Zabuera, like
that. Wow. Team Mom Pa, is it happening? Yes or no?
And also,
not right now.
Underworld monsters. We got also that to worry about, and then slaughtering all the
Stuart
people.
Is handling them well.
Yes.
Stuart looked like a DBZ character.
Hey, if anything, like Stuart also has like the spiked nunchucks.
I like
He's actually using them.
I like when the hero and Crocodile are like, all right, bro, how many can you take? I think I could take like 40, and then Crocodile's like. Probably take like 100.
100 easy. 100
I
got my Beastman days back in me.
And it reminded me of like Lord of the Rings when like Legolas and Gimli are fighting together. It's like how many you can kill? Let's do a countdown then.
Yeah.
Like there's still that fun dynamic even though the world's ending and stuff.
well over here with Lon and
Lon and Mr. Vern
are still fighting over there.
Yeah, I know it wasn't, but it wasn't
they're
cool.
Having their own personal beef.
I know, like Mr. Vern's like, hey, Lon, now I can say the thing you told me. And like he repeats back what he
I
told
love
him.
how we have like 4 or 5 different scenarios going on in the same area.
Yeah,
We got like
all
Stuart
happening at
fighting.
once.
We got like Crocodile and Nova having like a war. How many can you kill? We have Lon and Mr. Verna selling their beef in the corner from thousands of years in the past, and then we have the drama between Mom, Pop, Hyun Kill. We got Meryl almost near death. Like we got this
crazy.
love
The show's so
triangle,
good.
love quintuple going on here. Like
It's been wild.
Zabaweras trying to gain his recognition back from being a fool.
He's always trying to do that. That's the day one, and he'll never get recognized.
Because he's a little slimy rat.
Yeah, all he
Hey
did
man,
was
he
just,
has a squad, right?
Yeah, he captured them and he had to capture them.
You know what's great is that Hadler hasn't made a reappearance yet.
Oh, I know.
He's still in the scene, so
See what happens.
we'll see
man.
what happens.
He'll join the fight.
Yeah.
Watch it be like the last possible moment. Hadler's like, I fight for die.
Oh,
I'll bet money on that.
man. Yeah, but it's been a wild ride. You know, we're still ever inching closer towards the end, and again, we'll just see kind of what happens next.
And
you know,
man, Dragon Quest dies is the gift that keeps on giving.
it is.
And I'm glad Pop
We're-
finally got his little redemption.
Going on 2 years. Let's go. Yeah, and with that, we're done with the anime, this week's anime, and we move on from anime to news. News, yeah. We got 3 pieces of news for you guys to talk about here. First off, we're going to be mentioning is, of course, the Jujutsu Kaisen movie 0. Yeah,
Yes.
Gojo right here. You get to actually be in the spotlight once again. So yeah,
Always in the spotlight.
so yeah, according to the news, they've mentioned that the movie is actually going to be dropping on March 18th.
Woo!
That means for tickets, you could be able
The
to purchase
U.S. and Canada.
for the U.S. and Canada. Yes, that means Josh, you could
You can watch it as well.
Though you haven't
Perfect.
seen, right? Yeah. So the film comes out March 18th. Tickets, of course, are going to be selling on February 25th. Yeah, about a month away.
Both
and then,
sub and dub available.
yeah, both sub and dub. So whatever your
Get your
preference is.
tickets.
And
your
also on
tickets.
IMAX.
And it's also going to be available on IMAX for select movie theaters. So
Yo, who's excited?
we're all
I am.
excited.
Dude,
We're all
I
excited.
can't wait, man.
I am.
I will be, but I haven't seen the original Jujutsu Kaisen.
Well, you better get on it.
roasting me. Roasting me.
We've already
Here.
mentioned that there's not much else to be said about the movie. You know, we've already mentioned how much anticipation we have, how much reverence we have for it,
Obviously,
all that stuff.
obviously the success in Japan.
Oh yeah, it's just unparalleled. So
The success here that we're getting the film already.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the fact that we're getting the film so soon, because I think the film barely came out like
Yeah, it came out like the end of the year in
December.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
December.
Christmas, I think.
Christmas,
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
it's only been like a month since it released back in Japan. So yeah, the fact that we're gonna be getting it in a couple months, it's crazy. Like I'm honestly all excited. Just hope that theaters are still gonna.
Don't
be around.
say that. Knock on wood, bro. No.
All right, yeah.
Woo, let's go though.
March 18th.
Mark it on your calendar.
Mark on your calendar, and of course, like always, we're gonna be bringing you guys, reviews and
Most
stuff
definitely.
for the movie itself. So yeah, can't wait. All right, and the next piece of news we're gonna be talking about is, of course, Stranger to Paradise: Final Fantasy Origins game's final trailer preview story.
Fighting the darkness.
Fighting the darkness, fighting chaos.
Killing chaos.
Killing chaos.
And with how successful that demo is, which I didn't get to play that demo.
Oh, that demo was awesome.
I know, I heard. But hey, guess what else is coming out on March 18th?
The movie.
This game right here. So not only can you be able to watch the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, you can also be able to play the game as well.
That is awesome.
It's not a Jujutsu Kaisen game, but it's Strange Paradise.
I enjoyed the
Killing demons, killing chaos, all that stuff. You can do it all in the same day.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Punch it.
the trailer was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it finally confirmed that our main guy is
Warrior of Light, right?
no, he's actually Garland. Yeah, the villain.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like his origin of like how he became evil or anything. And they showed a couple bosses that he's gonna be fighting. They have some interesting designs. There's like one guy with like rib cages showing and stuff. And I was like, damn, this looks awesome.
Yeah, and the gameplay, of course, looks super sick. So it's kind of crazy. Like it's finally finally gonna be here.
I like that the theme of the trailer itself was Frank Sinatra.
Oh, the song.
Yeah.
I mean, Final Fantasy.
I didn't expect it.
Hey, Final Fantasy has used old music before. You know, looking at you, Final Fantasy 15's opening.
Oh, Stand By Me.
Yeah,
but that was a cover though.
That was a cover, but
hey,
this
man,
was straight up the song.
Still an old song.
Yeah, still an old song. But yeah, it's coming out on all platforms basically. So even if you don't have a PS5, you know, due to the shortages and stuff, if you have a PS4,
Xbox Series X.
yeah, if you just have a regular old PS4, you just play it. You know,
Except for the Switch.
Yeah,
you know why.
Switch will probably explode if you played it on there. Yeah, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S,
Nintendo
X,
here.
and PC. So it is. It's gonna be super exciting.
Heck yeah, can't wait to get my hands on it.
Yep, and then the last news of the day that we're going to be talking about is Guilty Gear Strive launching Biken.
Woo! Let's
A
go!
long-anticipated fan-favorite character that some people were actually scared that wasn't actually going to be coming out on this game because, of course, since we have Nago, everybody was like, "Ah, man, you know, we already got Nagaryuki.
Yeah,
we don't need Biken."
We don't need another samurai.
But no.
And to those people, you're wrong.
Wrong.
DLC's always.
You're wrong, and like, you know, even if you were to mention, it's like, oh, Samurai Showdown has Biken, it's like, no, she's still here.
Yeah, heck
still
yeah,
here.
and she looks amazing.
Yes,
And
oh
I
my goodness.
like the whole when you grab them or like when you do a command, like you're tied to her.
Yeah.
And, like so, like you know the whole like because she needs to be close and
Yes.
they kind of patch that weakness of hers. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, now she actually has like something with range on it and stuff, and yeah, just in general, like her kit, like from the trailer and stuff, like looks really sick. Like it looks really like, you know, you could actually be able to utilize it, and of course, you know, like the haters were saying, like, I was like, just not goes. I know she's actually like her own character.
Yeah, she I think even one of her supers is like she shoots a gun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's hella cool, man. I'm just glad that she's gonna be in the game.
Yep, and she's only coming out in like a couple days, in January 31st, as of this recording. So
Heck yeah.
But if you have the
Oh yeah, if you have the season pass, she's out now.
she's already out, so you're pretty much good.
Yeah, pretty sure I'm gonna see combo videos.
So
Absolutely.
we have one more, right, for this season pass?
Yes,
one more
see,
character.
one more character. So it could be anyone. You know, now that we already have Biken, you know, we pretty much got all the majority of the most anticipated characters out. I feel like the last character might be Johnny.
It might be either Johnny or another new character.
Could be.
Because I don't know if you remember the story trailer. They showed like a little priest dude.
Oh
And
yeah.
From like the story trailer. So
What if it's Bridget?
I know people really want Bridget, the master yo. Oh, but I'll take Bridget because her theme slaps.
His.
Oh yeah, his theme. Yeah, my bad. I fell for the trap. But yeah, his theme slaps. So
Yeah.
I want another
Oh,
slapper.
it's also gonna get the last stage, right?
Yes,
The
another
last-
stage.
We're
Because
gonna get another stage out of it.
With Biking, she got her own stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more character. Who knows what's gonna happen? And yeah, with that,
Great DLC.
great DLC. Yeah.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
season pass too.
Mhm.
Heck yeah.
All the characters.
Go Lewis.
Happy Chaos.
Happy Chaos. The girl. I'm blanking out right now. Oh damn. Jacko.
Jacko.
Jacko and Albike.
Jacko and Albiken. So yeah, these 4 characters. So we've got one more character left.
Yeah.
All right, and with that concludes our news, and of course, that also concludes our anime podcast. Of course, like always, if you like the video, be sure to Agidine it, Agidine the like button, Bufudine the comment section, Zeodine the hell out of that subscribe, the share button, and of course, Luster Candy the subscribe button, and also don't forget to hit that notification bell. And like always, I am your Demi Fiend Robbie.
I'm your Messiah Omar.
This is your Samurai David.
And this is Summoner Josh.
And with that, we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.